all living in a world gone geek. It's time to geek hard or go home. The podcast is real. Here's your host, Grounded Geek.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is World Gone Geek. The podcast is real here on Sunday night at 7 p.m. We are so grateful that you stopped by because we have some fun stuff to do tonight. Oh, my gosh. We spent some time at Fan Expo Cleveland yesterday, and we talked to a lot of people. We saw a lot of cosplays, and we're going to share some of that stuff with you guys today. We're also going to share it with Aaliyah because she couldn't make it there. She was out of town. So we're going to try to give her the con experience here within the show. So if you weren't able to be there too, you're going to be able to get that experience right alongside her. And then Utah, who was there for most of Saturday with me. And we did
Enterprise.
Yeah. What is that? The 50th anniversary of Star Trek?
Hold on a second.
This comm badge not working.
Ever since they freaking comm badges, why can't I just use the old communicators anymore? It just
right.
Here we go. This is a 50th anniversary Star Trek comm badge.
That's pretty amazing.
Love that.
So you were tapping it. Does it actually make noise? Because some of them make the little chirp.
This version is strictly for show.
Okay, you were just
but there is
I just want to make sure.
But there,
you need some batteries.
I wasn't pretending like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But they do have ones with a magnetic clasp like this that do make sounds, and they also have one that's actually a Bluetooth microphone and speaker.
Nice.
So you can pair it with your phone and use it to talk to people on your phone, and you can tap it to answer and tap it to hang up.
That's just crazy.
Wow.
How expensive is that? Because that's something I would probably buy.
I honestly don't know because it's been a while. So I got this. The 50th anniversary was 2016, I think. So it's been a few years since I got this, and that Bluetooth communicator was introduced that year. So who knows? It's probably gotten cheaper since then. But they also have the old-fashioned flip communicator that's also Bluetooth that you can use as a phone too. So
cool.
So yeah. So
don't you want one now too, Aaliyah? Do you want to feel like you're in Star Trek?
I do. I am.
Well,
always wanted to feel like I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
There's kind of a theme here that we'll probably hit upon a little bit later in the show.
Well, no, we may as well hit upon it now because we're gonna cover some of our little stuff that happened that we did, and then we got a bunch of interviews to watch and then kind of discuss. So this might be a little bit of a longer show, just a little bit, because I sat down with a couple of these guys for like 10 minutes or more, so that was fun. So go ahead. Yeah, we had a kind of a theme going the other day. There's Utah is holding it up. If you're on the podcast, you probably can guess from the music. I see the reflection of your computer in it, but there's Utah and me and the captain himself, Captain Kirk William Shatner. We stood near the man who has been in space, both fake and real.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Pretty awesome. He was, he was really on it. He was lucid and with it. Like he was.
Oh, he was saying hello to everyone.
He was saying hello and
thanking us for telling him he was the greatest thing that ever happened in our lives. And we didn't say that.
Told you.
I did say it was a great honor, and he was like, thank you.
He told us different things. He told me like get a life. He told you something different. So
you remember that Saturday Night Live skit?
He's like up there.
Back in the day.
Get a life.
So great. We met the captain of the Enterprise himself. That was very brief, though. If you've ever been to one of these cons, and this is Aaliyah, this is the interesting thing about these photo ops. Like, it's like, dude, you met Captain Kirk. Well, literally, we stood next to him for about 3 seconds. And I'm not even exaggerating.
Maybe 5.
Maybe it was 5. So you're in this line, they rush you through, you have to drop your bags off and have no idea if stuff's going to get stolen because you have to put them to a random table and the person didn't see you put it there. They move it, the crew person. And then you get into the room and you see other people standing next to him and getting their picture. And then they're rushed out. Another person gets up, rushed out. And then it's your turn, you go up there, you get in your pose. You got to get in the pose quick. Otherwise, the picture is you going.
Otherwise, the picture is you getting in the pose.
Right. So you turn and get in the pose, just start smiling because you don't know when they're pulling that trigger. And yeah, and then and then they rush you right out. It's like boom, boom. You don't get a chance to talk.
They got it. Yeah.
Now,
the photo ops are quick.
We spoke briefly. He talked with Bruce Campbell.
We did a little bit.
No,
yeah.
he did speak to us, yes, but we didn't have like a couple.
We didn't have a real
It
conversation.
Like,
right.
Yeah, with Bruce, we did like exchange pleasantries a little bit more.
It was a few sentences back and forth with Bruce Campbell, which was cool.
So I think that's just him. That's it. And of course, it was different because there wasn't COVID, there wasn't plexiglass between us.
So Bill Shatner was the only photo op celebrity that had basically a thin sheet of plexiglass to the left of him that separated him from the people that paid for the photo op. And actually,
really?
they did it. I don't even know if you can see it through the glare and everything else.
It looks like a line right down
the
middle of Fan Expo.
But it just looks like a line straight down.
Yeah.
So they did a good job of making it thin and lining it up with the camera so that it was not so obvious. But yeah, but we got pretty close. I was expecting something to be like, 5
I was so worried it was
going
to look like
right, like we were going to be over here.
Those awkward Avril Lavigne ones that came out years ago,
Where
not
it's
even COVID related. Where they're
just
4 feet away from her.
Yeah. But it wasn't. He was maybe a foot away, and we were able to get close to the plexiglass. I'd messaged Jeff, and I wish I would have thought of this when we were in line.
Right?
We should have done that Spock dying scene from Wrath of Khan. Just put our hands up on the plexiglass. Go, ship out of danger.
He would have totally gotten that joke.
He totally will have gotten it. That's one of the signature scenes from one of the best Star Trek movies ever, right? Or the needs of the many outweigh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I can't believe I thought of that after we left.
Right.
I know you were so upset.
I was so upset. I'm like, oh.
You even asked, "Is he there again tomorrow?"
I was like,
"Can
we go tomorrow?"
Pay another $100 or whatever to see this guy.
You bet $100 to go see him.
So we split it. It was actually $140 to sit with William Shatner for 3 seconds, and you get a photo. That's Fan Expo. That's Wizard World. Unfortunately, Wizard World and Fan Expo.
These types of cons, the way they have their photo ops is you pay a certain amount, and each celebrity is a different tier, right? So Bill Shatner was $140, but
it was one of the highest.
He was
higher than
highest.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, he was higher than Kevin Smith solo. Not higher. Not higher than Jay and Silent Bob.
So get this, the photo ops for Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, who play Silent Bob and Jay in the Clerks movies and these other movies that Kevin Smith directs. Yeah. To get a photo with Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, it was like $130 or something like that for both of them. And we're like, not bad. That's 2 guys. If we went in there together, we split it. It's $70 a pop or 65, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
Nope.
Well, if you want to get a picture of them as their alter egos, Silent Bob and Jay from the movies, basically Kevin Smith in a black trench coat and a turned around hat.
And then
Jason
Jay
Mewes
just turns his cap around.
Yeah, just with his hat backwards, basically. So to get that extra effect, it went from 140 to 350. I mean, it was more than
double.
Just for them to be in character.
Just for them to put a trench coat and a hat on.
Yeah. I do not understand that. I could see a little upcharge because it's like people want that one more. It's more iconic. It's their characters. You know what I mean? That's who they really want to see is the characters more than the actors.
But at the same time,
that's too much.
That's a lot.
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure people paid out. I just
I saw.
I'll not even split that with you.
Right?
Too much.
Matt's correct. I would have paid that much if they were Blunt Man and Chronic. Absolutely. that at least is extra than just Kevin putting on. Like if we paid $130 and I had a trench coat, I say, "Hey Kevin, could you wear this for me?" Would they do it? Or would they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's an
you're not allowed
extra
to hand
100."
him anything.
Oh, that's right.
When Rachel and I went in to see Millie Bobby Brown, she had an Eggo box and made her put it down. So she couldn't bring the Eggos in.
They couldn't.
Things.
Yeah. That's right.
But that was mostly for like branding purposes. Like they didn't want to advertise, I think. But
you know what? That makes sense. I wonder if it was just like a generic waffle. If it was a generic waffle box, if they might have let it. But the branding makes sense. Yeah, I guess
can't give them a prop either, I guess. Anyway, so that's what you're looking forward to, Aaliyah, when you finally go. There may not have been even anybody there that you would have wanted to take a picture with that badly.
There were a lot of anime voiceover actors.
Tons. Those are a little less expensive. Those are like maybe 40 or 50.
Those are like 30, 40, 50. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
And you can even, and for that much, 30, 40, 50 bucks, you can talk to them.
You actually talk to them for a few minutes. Like it's not rushed in and out. You get in a line, you get up to them, you can have a whole conversation. You can have a conversation.
And I don't even think you have to pay for that. If they're like not busy,
no.
they'll be more than happy to converse with you. But you can also pay like 30, 40, 50 bucks, and they'll record stuff for you. Like they'll record an outgoing voicemail message for you in whatever voice or character that you want them to, or just maybe an alarm or something. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, those are fun. What were the ones? Who she recognized? I don't.
There were a few from Attack on Titan. There were a few from Dragon Ball Z. Some from Genshin Impact, which I thought was interesting. I didn't realize. I know of Genshin Impact. I've played it a couple times because it's a free game. I didn't realize it was such a big deal, but
I mean, it's essentially
I'm pretty well
Breath of the Wild.
I'm
with anime characters, right? I mean,
right. Yeah,
what I've played of it. You can be multiple characters though. That's a little different, but the climbing mechanisms, the fighting mechanisms, everything. You get wings and stuff or whatever to float. It's very similar. Yeah,
it is very similar. But they also had some people from My Hero Academia, One Punch Man. Now I'm going to go to the list because that's all I have off the top of my head.
Well,
but they had a lot of great.
What is it? Janet actors. Varney from Legend of Korra. She's Korra. Did you watch those?
Oh yeah.
She was there. She was on the celebrity side. She wasn't even on the anime voice actor side. Like she was over there with Rob Paulson and Billy West and folks from like cartoon shows and stuff. Because she's done more than
she said more than just
Korra. And so is the other folks too. But a lot of the anime voice actors, like they've done a lot of different animes. You know what I mean? Not
Demon Slayer,
anime, and
definitely would have been interesting.
The Simpsons. You know what I mean? It's not like that kind of.
Yeah,
more mainstream stuff. I feel like being a voice actor, once you get like a part as a voice actor on an anime, then I feel like you're set, because more often than not you're going to get a part in another anime. So you're going to get at least 2, maybe 3,
right?
So I mean,
and then sometimes you get to do various voices, quote unquote. You know what I mean? It's like, you see in the IMDb, it's like, Joe Smith, various voices or additional voices. And it's like he was a chef in the back going, order up. Right. That was it. That was it. And then you get D. Bradley Baker, who just makes noises.
Yes,
like he's animals a lot of the time.
That's right.
It's amazing.
That's right.
He's amazing at it.
Literally
so
animals. Yep.
Yeah. It's too funny.
And then you get to go to cons, and then because I think a lot of the money that, especially the voice actors and the lower tier actors, a lot of the money for the selfies, photos, recordings, and autographs goes to them, because they're they get a certain contract. They have to show up at a certain number of these Fan Expo cons, and then the rest they get the pocket. So I don't necessarily feel horrible in like paying reasonable prices for these things, right?
I mean, they get their salary from doing voice acting, but this is probably a lot of their extra money too, or they wouldn't do it, right? I mean, exactly. Well, I wouldn't say that. They would do it because they want to meet the fans. Sometimes many of these folks like to do this. You know what I mean? They have a good time.
Correct.
But it doesn't hurt to get a little green. You know what I'm saying? Right? So
that's the truth. That's the absolute truth.
It does not.
So let's actually we also met John Delancey who was Q from Star Trek. He was behind plexiglass too at his table, but we didn't go for the big
professional.
We went for the table camera.
We went for the selfie.
Yeah. We'll post that on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, so you could see how tiny he looks behind us, because he's
really short. He's a lot shorter.
Got it. There you go.
He's a lot shorter in person than. Like, I mean, look at him
in the back there.
I think he's on an Apple box or something.
But he
look at how tiny he is.
Compared to me, good grief.
It's like
Put that down now. You
okay. But it was nice too because we got a few a couple of minutes with him and we talked to him a little bit, had a small conversation, and
Yeah,
it
he was
nice.
super nice.
He was super nice.
So
Don't forget,
yeah.
he was also in My Little Pony as the voice of Discord. One of my favorite My Little Pony characters ever.
Yeah. And he was a bartender or a restaurant owner or something in Days of Our
bartender,
Lives back in the early 80s.
What was it? Eugene something?
Bradford.
Eugene Bradford.
Yeah, my mom watched that show like every day. Like this was before we could record it. Like there's no
Right.
DVR.
We only
It
had
wasn't even
4
the
channels, no VCRs. If you missed it, you missed it.
My grandmother would watch General Hospital all the time. That was the show.
That's the show. Well, Days of Our Lives. Well, that was funny because I remember when he appeared on that first episode of The Next Generation. I'm like, hey, it's the guy from Days of Our Lives. And I know, and we joked. I'm like, I know that's never been how someone has like recognized. They're like, hey, is that the guy from Days of Our Lives?
It's that soap
Instead of
opera
Star
guy.
Trek. Or
Could you imagine if you introduced him or introduce yourself to him like that? Oh, you were on.
Yeah.
Well, we
Days
did.
of Our Lives.
Anyway, too funny. All right, so yeah, we got some really fun interviews and stuff. So let's go ahead and watch a couple of those. So the first one I'm going to play here was a voice one of the voice actors. I'm going to do some of the shorter ones first to kind of get those done. Let me see. Here it is. Cool. So yeah, I spoke with Lucy Pohl.
Hey.
Lucy is a voice actress. She has been in lots of things. Most notably for some would be her role as Mercy in the video game Overwatch. What does she say all the time? Heroes never die.
Never.
I should have asked her to say it, right? But I didn't. But yeah, so she's the voice of Mercy. I spoke to her. We could only speak to the people at the tables for about 3 or 4 minutes. If they kept talking to me and Jerry, the media guy, didn't come over and interrupt,
there's a media guy. I was going to say, was there like a timer?
But it was pretty. He's like, keep it to 3 or 4 minutes, which I did. I tried to do. I don't respect that because he's letting us come and do this. I don't want to, disrespect that. But and he's super nice for doing, for how he arranges all this. It's really great. But I just had like 3 or 4 minutes with her, so it's not very long. But let's watch this. Let's see, how do I do this so that it'll be full screen? Let's try this. That's me full screen. We don't want that. But what if I do this? Here we go.
Yeah, that's correct. I was born in Germany, and I was 8 years old when we moved to New York. So I grew up in New York.
Been here quite a while. Then.
Yeah, 12 years.
Okay.
Don't laugh.
She's not happy that I kind of implied that she's been here a long time.
12 years.
She's obviously very young, and I apologize, Lucy, if you're happy to see this at some point. That is not what I was implying at all. I just meant, you've been away from Germany for a little while. Like it was not, that's what I meant.
Sure, whatever. Great. She's never going to get on the show now. Thanks.
Well, possibly no. Let's see.
Just kidding. No, not that much. Yeah, but I did live there again after high school. I went to college there, basically acting school.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been there a couple times for work. All right, shut up, Jeff. You're talking about yourself now. I don't know why I did that, but I couldn't resist. We were talking about Germany.
I went to Anne Frank's house, and then I had a really good meal,
That
and then I had a
was
really
so
good meal
amazing.
afterwards. I had amazing waffles right after.
It was waffles. Yeah. Did I already tell you this story? Okay. Let's
Yes,
great country. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
So it would have been really obnoxious if I had gone into that story with her too, right? I didn't. Here's the next
you
question.
did.
No, that would have been very cringy.
Yeah. Here we go. Tell me a little bit about how you got into voice acting. Like, how did this start for you?
Well, I was an actor, and so that kind of, those opportunities kind of, branch out of just the umbrella of acting, I guess. So yeah, it just came out of that. I started voice acting. The first thing I ever did was dub Khloe Kardashian for German TV.
Really?
And I did.
Did you catch that?
That's amazing.
And German TV, she's
So
Khloe Kardashian.
she dubbed Khloe Kardashian for German.
I was like,
That's
never would've
incredible.
guessed. That's hilarious. So
That's
obviously
funny.
she can speak German.
So she must speak
obviously.
German. Yeah.
which makes sense because she, even though she hadn't been there for like 12 years. I'm kidding. Let's not go back.
Some cartoons. I did commercial voiceover work, and then I would just audition for stuff, and then this audition came along, and I got it. I booked it.
That's fantastic. There's I think Overwatch 2 is coming out. Is that
Yep.
right? Is Mercy coming back?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The beta just came out. 2-3 days ago. So that's very exciting. And yeah, obviously Blizzard was taken over by Microsoft. And so they're really making a big push to get everything out ASAP. And the fans have been waiting for a long time. So it's very exciting. It should be coming out very soon. So yeah.
Can you give us any hints about some of the backstory?
Spoilers.
What's happening?
I can't, not really. I just that, people know that it's going to have more of a story mode to it. And it's really exciting. There's some really exciting stuff in there. There's really exciting new voice lines. I think some fans, some people who play the game have already noticed in the beta that Mercy's like a little more upbeat and maybe a little bit more confident, although she was always confident. Yeah, there's going to be, slight little character developments. Let's put it that way. But it's really fun, yeah.
So when you sit down to record for a video game...
I don't sit, I stand.
She doesn't sit, she stands. You stand, I stand, Jeff. Look at her.
Gotcha. She gotcha.
I don't sit, I stand. Which makes, I mean, I totally know that, right? Because I've seen these voice actors do their jobs in countless behind the scenes things. They're never sitting down. I was just no. That it's just stupid.
Yeah, but when you're like talking to someone that you're like,
I didn't think of it.
I'm so excited. Even yes, they are normal people.
I love it.
But
she got you, Jeff. She got you.
She sure did. Look at her. She's judging me. No, she was great. I'm just funny. When it's time to record for video game, I know there's 100. How many voice lines do you think you recorded for Mercy for even just one of the games?
Oh, over the years, I've been doing Mercy's voice for 5 years now, almost 6, 5.5 years. I can't tell you how many voice lines. Thousands? Yeah, thousands.
Because there's so many different situations in the game where the voice comes up. It seems like from a voice actor, if you were doing a cartoon or doing Khloe Kardashian, there's a specific script that you're following.
Yep.
You're just kind of given lines and sometimes without context. Like, how do you find Mercy in order to bring that voice out?
Well, what's really great is that you have a team that you're working with. So the writers will be in the recording session. There will be a director. So we talk about each line, and each line gets put into context by the writers, and then the director works with you on kind of finding the right, intention and volume, and so you don't really go into it blindly, not knowing, is this in combat or is this a conversation? So you get all of that context, and then you usually do a few different sort of takes, on what it could be, and then the rest they kind of choose what they need to make it work. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
All right. So there we go. So that's Lucy Pohl. She was a delight to speak with. She was really fun.
What a lovely woman.
Right? She totally. Let's put this back where that was. It was a great time. Did you recognize? I know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is like one of your favorite games, Jeff. Did you realize that she played some local pedestrians in that game? Oh yeah. Every time the pedestrian came up, I'm like, is that Lucy Pohl?
Oh my God, that sounds like Mercy.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that she played that. I wish I had known. I would have asked her about that.
And she's in Gotham Knights.
Very cool. Oh, that's coming out soon.
As a thug.
Later this year or something. A thug. She's far
from
a thug. Look at her.
You could tell just by looking at her.
Very nice person. There's
you
no
could tell
way.
Just by looking at her, she's a thug.
She did judge me a little bit for saying that she said
a little.
A little.
I'm just kidding. She's awesome. Right. I love her sense of humor.
No.
That's awesome. So when you're doing these interviews, are you like carrying around the stuff, or are they coming to you?
No, that was at her table. So
Jeff's got a lot of emotional baggage he brings around with him all the time.
That's true. I really wanted to tell her about my trip to Germany. So this next
Post
interview,
and Frank Waffles.
Right. So this next interview is with Dan Parent. Dan is the author and I said author and writer. I started to say writer and artist.
Arthur and
he's Arthur. He's the Arthur.
He's Arthur.
The writer and artist from RG Comics, which if you've, I mean, you can't like have existed and never heard of Archie Comics, right? I mean, even if you don't like them or
Riverdale.
read them, you've heard of them, right? Riverdale, yeah. You've never heard of an Archie comic, right, Aaliyah? Never?
Your face, Aaliyah, says it all.
Okay. If
Archie,
I showed you,
is that like the? Isn't it on Adult Swim?
No, but if I showed you,
Oh wait, that's Archer.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Archer.
that's different.
If I showed you a picture
you've
of
seen
Archie and the gang, Archie and Jughead, you would be like, I've seen those. You just don't know anything about them, which is fine.
And you know about the show Riverdale, right?
But there's no way you've never seen them before, I feel like, right? Are you looking it up now?
I am.
All right, look it up
Cheers,
while
Jay.
we actually get this started from Dan Parent.
Let's
Here.
talk
First
to
of all,
Dan.
welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you very much.
Is this the first time you've been here? You've been here before?
I've been here quite a few times.
Okay.
Yep.
And for events like this,
I've been to a couple of Comic Cons before. I've also gone to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a few times. So I really enjoy going there, the museum. But yeah, I've been here. I love it.
Awesome. So you've been part of an iconic comic book series.
Yeah.
Archie's been around. Well, he's an octogenarian now. Doesn't look a day over 18.
I
But
know.
He's what, 85 years
Oh,
now?
he's 80. Oh, he's 81.
81.
81. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just want to point out the one thing I will say that they messed up is they put Dan on this couch literally right behind the table where the other media folks are checking in. So that's why you hear all this.
So that's why there's so much
background.
background noise.
And I'm like, oh, why are we here? But it is what it is. So I just want to explain why there is such a commotion. FI. And you've been there for how long?
I've been there 35 years.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
A big chunk of it.
It is.
So my goal is to make every celebrity I talk to feel really old. As you can see.
You're doing that's pretty good.
I think
You are
he's actually younger than
that
me.
goal.
So I don't know. I do not know where that came from. Here we go. And it's literally probably one of the most kind of well-known and still beloved today.
Yeah. I mean, Archie has been part of American culture for decades, and we still have a huge variety of readers from every age bracket, from like 5-6-year-old kids all the way up to people my age. So yeah. So, what was before Archie for you? Like, how did you get into writing and art and drawing comics? As a kid, I got into comic books at a very young age, like 5 years old. Starting out with Harvey Comics, which were Richie Rich, Casper, Hot Stuff. And even though they stopped publishing those were what got me into comics. Then I got into Archie as a kid, and then I got into like superhero comics. But as I grew up, I was always drawing anything, Archie, superheroes. But Archie I always kind of went back to Archie for some reason. I always going back to that style that I really liked. And then when I went to art school. When I got out of high school, I just found that I used Archie in a lot of my projects. I still had a love for Archie, and then Archie Comics came to the school looking for artists, and fortunately I had Archie samples that were already done.
Yeah.
So and then kind of from there I just lucked out, got word from Archie, and.
Now, did you start writing right away, or was it just illustrating at first and then writing came later?
I started illustrating at first, and then after I was at Archie for 3 or 4 years, I started to write my own stories. So after a few years, I was writing and drawing.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned that you read some other comics, like as far as superhero comics.
I can't hear you, Jeff.
These people were so distracting. Like I'm literally like trying to get my questions straight, and I hear these people right here going blah 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 blah.
They were getting like louder, gradually
more
louder. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just apologize for that part. Were there any artists or specific characters that really kind of inspired you when you were?
Oh yeah, I mean, reading superhero comics, I really loved. Like I was definitely more of a DC guy than Marvel. Although I love Spider-Man a lot, but. I loved like the Legion of Superheroes by DC. I loved Kurt Swan's Superman. I loved George Perez. I loved Jerry Ordway. He was later. He was actually when I was still in comics, but I still loved Jerry Ordway's stuff. Joe Staten, I was always a big fan of his stuff. But yeah, the Justice League I also love too. So yeah, there was Neil Adams. I was a big Neil Adams fan. So all that was part of my like childhood.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Archie's had a lot of interesting evolutions and interpretations over the years. Just stop there real quick. R.I.P. Neil Adams. He literally died the day this interview was taking place.
I was going to say,
yeah,
just a couple days ago.
That was really sad. 80 years old. But he drew the comic that was the exclusive there. It's Batman in Cleveland.
Yep.
That was the exclusive there, and so R.I.P. Neil Adams, great artist. He's evolved and changed. I know that you were involved, of course, with Kevin Keller.
Kevin Keller,
being introduced as the first openly gay character on the show.
Yep.
Now there's 2 different Sabrina the Teenage Witch shows. Riverdale. What is it, do you think, that it is about Archie and the gang that it has endured for so long?
I don't know if there's an exact answer. I think the main thing is that the characters just resonate with people. The characters have been around for so long. They're sort of ingrained in a lot of people's like psyche. Like people just know Archie because they grew up on it or their parents grew up on it. So it's just sort of in our heads. Like you see the digest at the checkout stands in the stores, and that's how a lot of people get introduced to it. But the characters just they resonate, and that's how come they work in any like format. They work as in Riverdale, which is a totally different kind of show. They work in like Archie's Weird Mysteries, or like Sabrina has had like so many different varieties of shows on TV. From the horror show that was just on to like the sitcom that was on in the 90s, the cartoon. There's a manga series. So the characters it's the strength of the characters, because people will follow the characters into almost any situation. And especially the most enduring draw to Archie has been the love triangle. Archie, Betty, and Veronica.
Sure.
That's the main thing that gets everybody into Archie.
A few years ago, Archie crossed over with Batman, which was 1966 Batman, which is just perfect. I think it fits the Archie
that was one of my favorite
mystique.
That was one of my favorite projects.
How did that kind of come about? Like, whose idea was that?
That was my idea, actually, because what happened was, I shouldn't take all the credit for it. I had pitched it with another artist at DC, and we pitched it. We pitched it with Steve Orlando, and then he moved on to other. This took about 3 years to get going. You pitch a project, and sometimes it bounces back and forth between the companies. But Steve, because it's such a big deal, he was put on other books. So they would bring in other writers. There was a couple other writers that were supposed to come in, and then that ended up being Jeff Parker, who actually wrote the Batman '66 comic. But I didn't care as long as I was the artist. I didn't care who I was working with. But yeah, the reason I pitched it is because I wanted to draw Batman, and I wanted to draw Batman '66. And if I'm going to do it, that's the best way it's going to happen, is if I pitch a crossover. So we pitched the crossover, it got approved, and then then it came out, and it was one of the, probably, if not the most favorite projects of mine, it was one of them.
Yeah.
Just the mixing of the two styles was so much fun.
Now, if Archie could cross over with any other superhero, who do you think would be next?
Well, Superman would be good. I also would like to do. I love the Legion of Superheroes. So if there's a way that we could do like the classic Legion of Superheroes, that would be great. And I think like something like Betty and Veronica and Wonder Woman would be like a great team up too.
Yeah.
So those are a few that you never know, could happen.
Now, I know that you also independently published Die Kitty Die.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was a project where, I wanted to just do something different, like something that, it was a little edgier than Archie, but nothing that would get me in trouble or anything. But I just had the idea for this book, and my friend Fernando, we came up with the idea. And so we were sort of like, do we pitch this to somebody? But we're so used to pitching stuff, and when you pitch things, sometimes your first vision gets changed because you're working with another company. So we were like, well, if we kickstart this on Kickstarter, we can do it exactly how we want to do it. So we decided we'll try Kickstarter and see what happens. And it was a big success. We were really, really lucky. We did exactly what we wanted to do. Then we did find a publisher afterward. Chapter House in Canada published it. So But it was also a tremendous amount of work, like kickstarting, because you don't realize when you're just an artist or a writer, you just do your writing and art, your writing, drawing, you're done. But when you're publishing it yourself, doing the content, and you're editing it, it's a whole, it was like a 24/7 project almost. So there's a lot of work, but a lot of creative reward that goes with it. So yes, we've done like 4 series of Die Kitty Die, which has been really great. Probably do another one at some point. But I am very very happy with the way Kickstarter helped us.
Yeah. So that was Dan Parent. I'm cutting off there. I interviewed him for a little bit longer. He talked about some of his things he likes to do in his spare time, personal charity activity and things like that. We'll publish the full interview on our YouTube page shortly after all this is done. But he was a great guy, really cool, interesting information. Archie, been around forever, right? Oh, I can't hear Utah.
I can't hear you.
So Utah couldn't hear during the Dan Parent interview. Now he got Dan Parent back, but we lost him. So he's going to look into that.
You can't hear us?
Oh, you can't. He can hear us. Okay. Well, I mean, come on. It wouldn't be a World Gone Geek show if there weren't technical difficulties. That's right. So Utah's got some technical difficulties. Utah wants me to do this part.
What's up with that?
I figured out your hand signals. I knew what you meant. All right. So yeah, Dan Parent, great guy. Archie Comics, check it out. Also Die Kitty Die, which is his sort of personal pet project that he did with a friend. And there you go. I don't think I can hear you still. No, check the audio, check your settings and look to see if you got meters and stuff, because that may be part of it. Matt's laughing. All right. There we go. Yeah. So
of course he's laughing.
Of course right? He's.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I heard you for a second.
Did you hear that?
You're back. You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Very cool.
Okay.
All right. So the next interview we've got lined up here. This was a lot of fun. This one. I enjoyed this. It was a chance to talk with Charles Martinet, who is the voice of Mario. Yeah.
Ooh, cool.
And he was just a joy. I mean, he was just such a fun guy to be with. And so it went from like him just breaking into Mario for no reason, just like all of a sudden, and like constantly.
Some voice actors do that too,
which he was loving it. He was just like, he was all into this, which was great. And then he goes into this, like, just a really like great advice for people. I mean, just gives some good life advice on our show. So I think that it was really nice. It's really cool. So,
in the voice of Mario?
No, that was in his regular voice. But here is Charles Martinet. Let me get that. I'm going to pause it until I can actually get him in the right spot this time. Because look how it puts one of us up there. It's so annoying.
Look at his shirt and the hat. Oh, I love it.
Right?
Just committed. Love that.
Yeah. I know. Well, the cowboy hat is a little, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
The cowboy hat is.
But yeah, look at him. All right, here we go. Mario is one of, really, literally got to be one of the most famous video game faces in the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get that job? Well, first let me say hello to all my friends in Cleveland. It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! You're number one.
Love it.
You know, I crashed an audition. I really crashed an audition 31 years ago to be an Italian plumber from Brooklyn named Mario for a company named Nintendo. I had never heard of Mario, never heard of Nintendo, but they were doing a real-time animation system, and I crashed this audition because a friend of mine called me up. I went in, and the direction was, you're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn in a real-time animation system, but we don't know if it's going to work or not. So start talking, make up a voice, make up a video game, start talking, and when you run out of things to say, that's your audition. And I never ran out of things to say. I said, let's make a pizza pie together. I just had fun for 30 minutes until there's no more tape. Stop talking, you know. Oh, sure. I had done probably another 100 video games in the course of life, and hundreds of corporate videos, and the different radio and TV advertising, 1,000 radio and TV announcer things, you know. But then when I saw Mario, I fell in love with the character. It was just so much fun. Such a delight.
Is there an inspiration for the voice? Did you think of somebody or something? Where did the voice come from?
I had played Gremio in Taming of the Shrew. Nice Italian guy, talk like this. We did a sort of modern version at the San Jose Repertory Theater, where Petruchio was the GI going back to Italy to find his bride, and I was the bride's father. Okay. And I thought when he said, you're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, I thought, all right, I could talk like this. Get out of my face, I'm working here, Or I could make him, more fun. And I thought, well, Gremio, I'd make him younger instead of, hey, how you doing today? Hello there, it's me, And I heard action. I didn't know anything about video games except waka, 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 waka. And I heard action. I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. And I started making up these games of we make food, I chase you with it, I catch you with it, but then you make the food and you catch me with it, and I eat it back and forth and back and forth. And I didn't stop talking until I heard, stop talking, cut, there's no more tape. Thank you, we'll be in touch. And I thought that was the end, but that was 31 years ago.
Certainly not the end.
Just absolute joy. What an honor and what a joy. And I say this to everybody.
31 years ago.
Do what you love to do in life. Find your joy, your passion, what you really love, and go for it, If you don't make $1 billion, it doesn't matter. If you're being happy, you're bringing happiness into the world, because people are good. It's easy to watch the newspapers and the TVs and say, oh boy, people are rotten, aren't they? Because that's all the bad news. The good news is how wonderful people are. Everybody's got a marvelous heart, and when you're looking for your happiness, you try to get in touch with that by being your own best friend. Treating yourself the way you treat your best friend means that you're very affectionate towards yourself, very kind and caring and understanding,
I want to be his best friend.
Yeah.
Wasn't that great? Whoop, I just started again by accident. Yeah, that was good, really good stuff. I just loved everything.
What a kind-hearted fellow.
Right? Yeah, that was really...
I just want to be your friend.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 31 years. That's crazy.
That is kind of nuts. One of the other things, though, that he did is I have a friend that I work with whose daughter is 4, almost 5 years old, and she loves Mario, just loves him to death, right? She it's like a big fan, and I told him her name. I told him her name and asked if he would say hi to her, and here's what
he did.
Loves Mario. Her name is Tilly.
Sure.
If you could say hi to her or something.
Hello, Super Princess Tilly. It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! You're number one. Ha ha! See you in my games.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Whoop,
Oh
just a sweet guy.
Gosh.
Was that not cool? So I sent that to him, and she loved it. So that was really fun.
That's awesome.
And he was just, he just did that because he's a nice person. So
He's a nice guy.
yeah, Charles Martinet. He
Oh my gosh.
really cool guy.
That just warmed my heart.
Does it? Yeah, I thought that was
Warmed my
heartwarming
heart,
one.
yes.
So the next one I'm going to play, this is probably why Matt is tuning in, not for us or anything. I got to sit down with Brian O'Halloran, who plays Dante Hicks in the
Clerks
series of movies, and among other things, he's been in other movies too. But this is kind of what everybody seems to know him for, and he owns that, and you'll see right in the beginning of this interview.
I can't wait to hear this.
I catch him in a minute. So Matt, you're gonna love this too. Let's just get this started. Now, first of all, I'm gonna start it. Hold on. So I know that initially when they sent us. All right, so I'm gonna stop it first of all. So this interview will go down in history as the day I blinded Brian O'Halloran, because so he volunteered to sit where he's sitting. Yeah, so he was sitting where I am, and he knew, being in filmmaking and knowing how things are done,
lighting,
knew that the window behind him would be too much in the lens; it would blow out. And he's right. He's absolutely right. So I was like, "Oh, sure, let's move." And he sat over there. I sat down. I got the camera. Put it up, started talking, because again, I'm trying to get in. I don't want to keep this guy all day. There's people waiting to talk to him. So I'm trying to hurry. I get it all set up. We start talking. And at some point during the interview, I glance over and I notice that there's this light down one side, light down the other side, and right down the middle is this shadow of the window, right? And it moves around. Like when he moves his head, you can see it's more obvious. So I'm just putting that out there right now.
All right. So that's your fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he volunteered to sit there, but this is not my best camera work in an interview. So I am going to go back to the beginning so you can make sure to hear all of this. So listen very closely here at the beginning.
This is amazing.
So I know that initially when they sent us the email to tell us about this event, I don't think your name was on that.
No,
he
did. Jerry contacted me yesterday, and I said, well, I don't get in till late afternoon, and then he's like, that's fine. And then it was our flight was delayed getting out of Newark today, so as soon as I landed, I texted Jerry. I was like, is it still good? He's like, yeah, we're still good, come on over. I'm like, all right.
So would you say that
so technically,
you weren't supposed to be here today?
Technically, I wasn't supposed to be here.
You can tell where I was.
Got to charge this guy $10 for copyright infringement.
So I walked him right into I wasn't even supposed to be here today. I had planned that from the get-go. And yeah, he was very, very cool about it.
The best part is he saw it coming. He knew.
As soon as he realized, he's like, wait a minute, I know what you did. So Leah, have you seen Clerks? Matt's asked in the chat here.
No, I have not.
Okay.
So do we need a watch party?
One of the lines, Dante works at a quick stop, and somebody was supposed to show up, never showed up for work, so he had to come in and open the store. And throughout the movie, as all the stuff is happening throughout the day, he's like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Like, right. That's his
exasperation.
Constant, he keeps coming back to it as like this running joke throughout the whole movie. And so I basically got him to say he wasn't supposed to be here today.
Oh, I love it. Oh, so good.
All right, so let's hear him talk about his career in Clerks. Obviously, you're in Clerks and all of these other things. Tell me about how you got started acting. When did the acting bug first start for you?
I mean, as a young kid, I wanted to be part of the talent shows as a younger kid. My brother, the middle brother, who's 6 years older than me, he was doing shows as a kid in schools and stuff like that, and I wanted to be a part of it. But full-fledged kind of that type of thing, I didn't do high school plays till literally my last junior and senior year. And then got out, went to community college, took all the theater kind of courses I wanted to take, then dropped out of that and just went into work mode just to make money. And then it was after that, after being with friends and just complaining about, oh, look at this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing kind of thing in certain films and stuff like that. And my one friends were like, well, why don't you go out and do it then if you think you can, if you think you can do better kind of thing, which was a nice kind of check to me. And I was like, oh, all right. And he found an audition for me for a local community theater in the paper. It's like, here, Dracula. This is something you could be Renfield or something. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I went down there and auditioned. I got the role of Renfield. It was at the First Avenue Playhouse, which was the town next to where Kevin grew up and was raised and worked and stuff like that. And worked there for 3 years doing different shows there and all over the central Jersey, northern Jersey, and New York City area. And then Kevin held auditions at that same theater 2 or 3 years later, me doing it full time. That it was it. I started to want to do it. And we made that film and we went to Sundance the following January and the film got picked up and then it was like, holy crap. And it was the type of thing where in my acting career before, doing a play is one thing where, you're entertaining the audience in front of you. But being in a film where now it's being distributed around the States, around the world, where people can now know your work from anywhere was kind of mind-boggling and kind of cool at the same time.
Was there a moment, either during filming or during the kind of the aftermath when it got picked up, when you finally realized this is we've got something here, because it's kind of it's become a classic. Initially it was
I mean I didn't quite feel I didn't quite feel I wasn't box office watching. The technology to do that wasn't really around unless you literally called Miramax and go what do we do kind of thing, which obviously Kevin did. But it wasn't until it went into the VHS rental market where it was the type of thing where you we sold so many copies to different video stores and video store chains. And I remember we were at an event, me and Jeff Anderson, who plays Randall, we were at an event in upstate New York for the video rental store convention, whatever it is. And we were there trying to push the sales of the Clerks video through Buena Vista Video. And one of the big wigs from Blockbuster Video was there and came over. Do you know that your movie is the most unreturned and stolen video in our chain? And I was like, well, that's our fan base. We're a bunch of cheap thieves. Would you like to buy 20 more cases?
That's amazing. So, since Clerks, you've appeared in several other Skewniverse movies, many times as either Dante again or a relative of Dante. Which, what is it you think is in the genetics of the Hicks family?
Oh, it's so much. Yeah, I know. There's definitely got to be some sort of weird kind of Kentucky strain of New Jersey or something. No slam on Kentucky. Everybody slams Kentucky.
So I know that in addition to films, like you said, you started in theater, and you still do theater, right?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me a little bit about which do you prefer? Do you like being in front of the live audience? Do you like feeding off their energy? Do you like the flexibility of being able to film and just kind of
You're pretty much answering exactly what I was about to say. Pretty much.
Way to go, Jeff. And now I can't hear Jeff.
Sorry, it's like suddenly became a lawyer. Asked and answered. Objection.
Right.
So yeah, I basically asked and answered the question for him, but he still is gracious enough to give us an answer. Here, guys.
Bank account likes doing films, but the interaction, the live feedback, the knowing where to go. Certain shows you'll do a couple of months run of, or sometimes it's just as short as one weekend, so you don't get a chance to change things as much. But at least you get to take a character's arc from very beginning to end, and you get a full, complete story while acting it out. I like it. The actor in me loves doing live theater, and I love live performance in general. I occasionally do stand-up from time to time, and that kind of feel and feedback from the audience is always great. When you're on a roll, especially. It's almost like when we do the Q&As at these cons, it's the same kind of feel. You're getting that kind of live interaction with. But doing a film, I've done quite a few films now, and I really enjoy the camaraderie, the pulling it together that we're all making this film kind of thing, where every department is there for their specialty, and we hope at the end when we finally see it up on the screen that you can see all the parts coming together and making this whole project work. It's not just one main actor, or it's not just one main director. It's really a huge collaborative effort, which I enjoy.
And what do you think? Clerks, 30 years ago, right?
Well, it came out in '94.
Again, just reminding celebrities of their mortality. I want to make sure
So
they realize just how old they are.
I think that's your thing, Jeff.
I think that's going to be my niche. Is just Barbara Walters makes them cry. I make them, face the music that they have.
You make them sigh.
Become seasoned. Yeah, here.
We made it in '93, so it's definitely been over, the 30-year mark making it. So, yeah.
What do you think is different for you now? Like, what do you think you've learned in that time as an actor that that's different from when you guys made Clerks to how you feel today, how you've grown?
Have a good lawyer. I've learned that. Well. Pay attention, kids. Get yourself a good lawyer. When it's all said and done, have everything passed through a lawyer. No, I'm kidding. Although I'm not kidding. Get a lawyer. There's a lot of things where putting in the work really does make a difference. Putting in the work of learning on my end of the camera, learning the character, learning the angles of cameras, learning if you put in the work to know how to make it the optimum experience for the fan, for the filmmaker, for the character to truly be seen and stuff like that. It takes work. It's not just like say words in front of a camera, go. Because you're cheating yourself out of a great performance, you're cheating the audience out of what they want to see. So I think I didn't put in the work as much as I would put in now. Now I put in a lot of work for what I do.
And you've worked with Kevin on several different projects. What would you say is different about the filmmaking process when you guys were first coming up with Kevin versus you guys just wrapped and delivered Clerks 3?
Well, I mean, it's literally a world of difference. It's literally black and white, like color and black and white. Kevin has grown.
Aaliyah, for the reference, the original Clerks, he did it in black and white. So he was making a joke there.
Right, yeah. Didn't Kevin, wasn't the budget like $10,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Something outrageously tiny.
Yeah.
To tremendous levels, to know for the most part, almost every department, to know what he wants. He may not be like, this needs a 50 lens and this needs a 35 and we should do a 70 here. Like, he's not that all involved in it, but he knows how he wants things framed. He knows what kind of emotion he wants to come through the lens. He knows what makes him happy, and he knows that what makes him happy, there is a group of fans out there that feel like him, that get it. And so the good thing about Kevin is he's never sold out to an ideal to just do something just to say I did it. He does it for the experience of, like, I have a story to tell, and he tells it through his lens. Everybody has their own lens and has their own agendas and their own kind of points of view, and he's made his point of view and rarely deviates off that point of view, which I find refreshing.
And so I read that the film is locked up and delivered. Can you give us any kind of a hint of how Dante has grown and changed since Clerks 2 and what we might see? I know you don't want to give anything away.
Sure. Well, as we last left off with Dante, he had gotten Becky pregnant with his hideous love child, and so he's dealing with the whole marriage and parenting thing, I guess you could say, and the type of thing that I think is kind of weird for Randall, kind of an aspect of it. I mean, the Clerks 3 movie, and Kevin has said this, I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said out there on the interwebs already, that it's a Randall movie. It's a lot of heavy Randall lifting in this one, which I enjoyed watching Jeff tackle the role and the subjects that Randall is going through. And so I think the fans will love it. It's definitely the feel of the very first film. We're back in the store. It's a lot of that kind of back and forth banter that everybody loves. But then there's a lot of heart to this. Kevin has talked about this in other interviews. After his real life heart attack, he really took an introspective about what's important to him in life and family and things like that. And he poured a lot of that into this film. And so I look forward. I mean, the last I was told from Kevin just last week was it's the fall, sometime between September and November when this film comes out. So it's up to the beautiful marketing team at Lionsgate to come up with a strategy of how to market it and when to release it and how to do it and what kind of publicity we want to do it for. I know Kevin wants to do the same kind of roadshow aspect that we did for the Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie, so I look forward to seeing it and talking about it.
Yeah. So what's next for Brian? We've talked about what Dante's up to. What's next for you?
What's next for me? Over the lockdown, I did my own kind of streamcast podcast show called The O'Halloran. I probably will expand that some more. I haven't started the next season yet. I'll be doing that shortly. These have been taking up quite a bit of my weekends, which is fine. I enjoy them a lot. I'm a big fan of everybody else who comes to these, and I'm a fan of the cities I visit. I'm in talks with 2 other production companies for doing some movies this year, hopefully. If not this year, the beginning of next year. And then I look forward to going on tour with this Clerks 3 and seeing where we go from there. I'd like to see what people think of where we've come in this. So, and I'm looking forward to the hockey playoffs.
There you go.
Oh, I keep doing that. Yeah, so there you go. Brian O'Halloran. Really
nice interview.
Really cool. Yeah, he was really great to talk to. Obviously, having a little fun there. He joking around, but and he didn't actually charge me $10 for making him say the line, so that was good.
Well, that's weird because I got an invoice on my Venmo from him.
Oh well, there you go. You can cover that then.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Well, he did say he got a good lawyer, so maybe I'm going to hear from them soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that was part of his life advice. Oh, Matt says the Clerks was $27,575.
Yeah.
So
that's
low, but still that's super cheap.
Oh gosh, and it got picked up by Weinstein, right? Unfortunately,
I had forgotten that Buena Vista Video was the distributor on VHS.
And then it just like became a
it's
cult
really
classic.
Kind of
Like, people just adore it, and he has got Kevin Smith has got this fan base that is just like everywhere and rabid. Like they just love Kevin Smith. He can show up and read from the phone book, and people will pay to come see it. Like that, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't even have to. It's just. Because he'll make it entertaining somehow. He'll be funny. He'll be whatever.
Matt, I will watch Clerks. No worries.
Yeah. Now. You go watch Clerks now.
All of these capital letters.
So we got a couple more interviews, and I do want to get we have a cosplay recap too that Nerbs Wax put together for me. I went out and shot a bunch of footage, and then she edited some of that together. It's not a complete. It's we're gonna put out a.
So it's a lot of Octane, is what you're saying?
Version. No, she's not in it. But yeah, we're gonna put out a complete version. This is like a shortened version for the show, but I will in the next few days put out like a full version. So if you don't see your cosplay in the one we do tonight, check out. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube.
Check our
Instagram, our Facebook, all those places. That way you'll know exactly when we put the full version out there. Our goal is to put everybody we filmed in there. We don't want to drop anybody if we can help it. Right. So that'll make it a little bit of a longer video. But we want to show. There's some really great cosplays that we got footage of, so I want to make sure to show those. So and speaking of cosplay, one of the interviews that I did is a particular cosplayer. He's actually local here in Cleveland. And it's interesting. So I'm just going to play.
Is it strange?
No, but I'm just going to play it, and we'll enjoy it together. Okay, here we go. So I'm here with Deadpool at Fan Expo Cleveland, and it turns out Deadpool's an Uber driver. So we're going to find out a little bit more about this. Tell me a little bit more about your car. When did this come about?
This 2018, after the second movie came out, I fell in love with the first movie and the second one. And then I already been an Uber driver, and I turned my 2010 Dodge Avenger into the Deadpool Avenger.
That's amazing. And so you actually pick people up in this?
Yep, I actually pick people up in Uber on Friday, Saturday nights in downtown Cleveland.
So what's the craziest reaction you've had?
People yell, they scream, they cry. I've had a few people get in and jump right out.
Sync.
I scared them.
Something happened with the sync, so you can hear the audio. I don't know what happened when we rendered it. We were really rushing to get this one out. I wanted to include it tonight, but apparently when I rendered it, the sync didn't quite work. But you can still hear him. Here he goes.
They're like, I'm not getting in no car with no guy with no mask. I said, I'm Deadpool. You're in an Uber. You're safe.
So what's your Uber rating?
4.95.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so mostly positive.
Yeah, it went up, and my ratings and my tips went up like crazy. People, they love it. I make their night, But yeah, too. And my TikTok is going crazy from it. At Deadpool Uber Driver is my TikTok, and it's just blown up.
All right.
People love it. They love the car. They love it.
Check it.
Oh, you're doing something unique, man. You got your little niche there, so it's really cool. A lot of fun.
The next time I go to the airport, I hope I get Deadpool.
Yeah, you never know. You never
too bad
know.
we can't request drivers, right?
Right.
I love that he's putting in maximum effort as
Yes.
as appropriate for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Seriously hope that Ryan Reynolds sees that and just gives him mad props for that.
I don't know if Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I feel like he would have said if Ryan Reynolds had like acknowledged him.
That would be
somewhere on
something
social
that
media.
he would. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I just
would've
mean
led
like
with that.
hopefully he does.
Hopefully he sees it. Yeah, because that was fun. Yeah, it was a really cool car. I mean, you see the inside is all decorated and decked out, is all Deadpool colors and stuff. It's really cool. So I mean, what would you do if you called an Uber and Deadpool showed up?
Okay, so I would love it. Number one, totally love it. Totally go into because you can tell from the interview that he knows a character well enough that he can play the character. So he's not just like an Uber driver dressed up in the costume and he's taken to your location. I'm positive, and based on the TikTok videos that people have been tagging him in. Oh shoot! Shut up. Freaking Deadpool on my phone.
Is that what you do when the show is on? You sit over there watching TikTok, and I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm doing right now. No, but based on the titles of the TikToks that have him tagged, it's like legit got picked up by Deadpool, and so he's obviously playing up the character, which is great. I love it. I love that kind of effort, and so I would be totally excited. Like I said, I wish I could request. I want Deadpool Uber driver to take me to the airport.
Right.
Seriously.
Would you would get in the car, Leah?
It's a little bit different for females.
Sure.
Fair.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like when I asked him, I'm like, so do some people like before I interviewed him, I was talking to him, and then I'm like, I should be interviewing you. Like we should just we should be doing this on camera.
We should be doing this on camera.
So I didn't ask him all the same things, but yeah, I asked him like what kind of reactions does he get, and he mentioned a few in that one, but yeah, like sometimes people, they're like, nope, I'm not going to do this. Like they think he's,
creeper.
Yeah, being weird or something. But I guess more people than not actually think, this is kind of funny.
It would be hard for me because I would be so excited and so hyped, but also at the same time, terrified.
Anxious and uneasy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and this is why it's cool. Go ahead.
I was so you definitely wouldn't do it by yourself, but if you were with a group of friends, co-ed friends, then
absolutely.
you'd be for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think now that you've seen it, now that once the word gets out that this guy is legit, he's an actual Uber driver. He's not, stalking people as Deadpool around Cleveland. As word gets out, I think people will be like, it's almost like the cash cab in New York. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you call a taxi, and if it's the cash cab, you're like, oh my gosh. And it's just like you call an Uber and it's Deadpool. And he also says that he messages, like he'll go ahead and message them when he gets it and says, by the way, I'm the Deadpool Uber driver. I'm in a Deadpool car and dressed as Deadpool. And then, so they have a chance to say, nope, and switch it up. So yeah, he gives him a little heads up. So that's
Hasn't he heard the mask mandate has been lifted? I mean, come on.
Right? Yeah.
How does he breathe in that thing?
I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
The same
but yeah,
way everybody else does.
A lot of fun.
His nose.
All right.
Some people breathe in their mouth, like mouth breathers.
Yeah.
He breathes through his ears when he has the mask on, because the fabric's not as thick around the side of the head.
Right. All right. Our final interview of the night was the one I was really, really looking forward to. I mean, all of these were great gets. I was so excited to talk to Brian as well. But there was a couple of voice actors that I was really, really trying to get, right? One of them was Billy West, which he wasn't allowed to do interviews for some reason. So we couldn't get an interview with him. So that was a disappointment, but Charles Martinet, obviously I got him. But this was the guy that was the highest on my list. Like I have been a fan of this guy forever. I totally fanboyed. I won't show you all the footage because
he kept on going, right?
The camera because Jerry showed up in the background. You'll see him. He's like, you're over time. But no, when I got up there, literally the bottom of my tripod fell off. as I'm trying to put the microphone up on the table, or so that I can, or my phone up on the table, which was recording the audio, and then bring the microphone over. The cord tangled, and I yanked my phone off. The phone fell on the floor. I mean, I'm fumbling around like an idiot, and he's like helping me, and it's just like, it was the most. But he was so cool about it. Like he was just like, yeah. But part of it was because just stuff went wrong. Like it's technical difficulties, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a World Gone Geek.
Right. But a lot of it was also like, I was so nervous to meet this guy. I mean, he's one of my favorite voice actors of all time. He's done some of the most iconic voices in my of shows that I've loved for ages and ages.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and play this. There's a couple places where I'll make some comments, but this is my interview with Rob Paulsen.
Rob Paulsen.
Of Animaniacs and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and all that. Here we go. So we're talking with Rob Paulsen.
Yes, you are.
To the show. Just real quick, I'd love to know, like, how did you first get into voice acting? Where did the voices come from?
Well, once I got out of prison, I started as a traditional actor, stage, TV, that type of stuff when I moved to LA. And in the mid 80s, I got the opportunity to audition for cartoons, the first of which were G.I. Joe and Transformers. And I told my agent, please send me out for more of this, because I love the fact that nobody cares what I look like. I'm not limited by my average-looking Caucasian guy vibe from Michigan. And it was a good choice, Jeff, because now I'm only limited by, being Yakko, or Pinky, or Carl Weezer, or Raphael, or Donatello, or whoever else I'm doing at the moment. And it's turned out to be a great choice. And coming to these events is nothing short of heartwarming.
Okay, so...
Wait, so he wasn't allowed to do interviews, but he's there.
Yeah, he makes an appearance. I don't know if he's doing this for the camera, because he looks
He's
at it.
He's totally doing it for the camera. It's Billy West.
Yeah, which is so funny.
He's one of the biggest hams ever.
He was coming out from behind the table to do some of the photos with people. He was really cool about that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So his I don't know if you can see the lady in the kind of light blue shirt there. That is right next to her on her left is where he is sitting. To get out, he has to come all the way down here behind Rob Paulsen and get out, and then walk down to the people. And so this is him returning from one of those trips, and he does this little Frankenstein routine. But so
totally for the camera.
Couldn't get the interview with Billy West, but he made an appearance, and I appreciate that. So here we go.
To see how everybody's included, and I love being part of it.
So now the Animaniacs is one of a big. Here's the moment I finally realized I needed to put the microphone to my own face when I talked to him so you could hear me. Because at the beginning I'm just like, I'm gonna keep this here because I might miss something.
How did you not crack up when you saw that?
Yeah, I didn't notice it until I was editing. I didn't even see him.
Wow!
I was so focused on Rob Paulsen. Here we go. Show. This was one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and it's back. So what do you think it is about the Animaniacs that endures, that people still want to hear from them?
I think it's a number of things. It doesn't condescend to the audience. The jokes are pretty fast, and it assumes that people will get it. The gentleman who created the show, Tom Ruger, had the edict come down from Mr. Spielberg to say we're not going to make a show that's a little kid show. We're going to be in the same vein as Looney Tunes, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Okay, so that's Jerry.
Is that Jerry?
Here to the right.
Let's say, who's that guy? Who's that guy?
I thought that was Jerry.
Yeah, he's clearly come to kind of get in my eyesight so that I know that we're running out of time.
Just a little reminder.
I wasted so much time dropping the phone and all this stuff. I feel, but
I feel like that shouldn't count, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and
right?
Rob felt that way too, so he just kept going. You know what I mean? He didn't care.
Any of the Flintstones, classic stuff that has stood the test of time, and I think Animaniacs is no different. People get the jokes today that when you saw it the first time when you were a younger guy, you probably get jokes now that you didn't get then. And the new episodes are being written the same way, and that's on purpose.
All right, real quick, check out this Witcher guy in the
Yeah, look at the
background.
Witcher.
Yeah, I saw him.
Who's he in line for?
That's I think that's Janet Varney, right behind. Yeah, if you look at the sign right behind Rob, that's Janet Varney.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
I guess he's going to see her.
Nice.
He's in our cosplay montage. I don't think he made the early cut here, but he's in the big one. I got to talk to him later. He's pretty cool. All right, sorry, I'm distracted by him. I felt like I needed to acknowledge he's like this super tall guy. He's like there, right?
He is tall.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The music is incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean, just the songs that you have done yourself, it's amazing. And from what I understand, I'm not going to ask you to do it, but from what I understand, you have the whole world one like totally memorized. Right?
Totally. Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana. Absolutely, all day long.
We're getting played off here at the. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
My pleasure, Jeff. And please, World Gone Geek, stay geeky, baby. All right.
Stay geeky, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is because
that a new tagline?
That needs to be. Yes, please.
He's so awesome. And Rob Paulson knows my name.
He said it twice.
Like he acknowledged who I was. Like it was it's just awesome. Like what a great guy. And I can't tell you how much it meant to me. Yeah, that he's very careful to like acknowledge who you are and not just, this is another guy I'm talking to.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. He was super cool.
You think he'd come on the show?
I am definitely going to call him because right before I dropped everything and looked like an idiot, before we started the interview, I mentioned that we had a mutual acquaintance on the show last year. Shane Salk is who is the mastermind behind the sound and audio design of Carcerum, which is a fantasy podcast. Check it out.
A fantastic
follow it. Yeah, it's really good. Follow that. Rob Paulson is a character in it, and Maurice LaMarche. So it's like you got a whole Animaniacs thing going on there. But there's lots of other characters or people that you'll recognize. Mike Flynn from The Middle and Malcolm in
Malcolm in the Middle.
The Middle, not Malcolm.
The Middle, not Malcolm.
And Scrubs, he was the janitor. Remember
that?
Yeah. He's a voice. It's a great audio adventure drama. The sound design is just phenomenal. You really feel like you're in a movie there. It's really good. So check it out. Carcerum. Follow them. Subscribe after you subscribe to us, and then you'll enjoy that.
Why not both?
Right, exactly. So, so I think I think we might be able to pull some strings and get him on the actual show where we can talk to him for a little bit longer. So I am definitely going to be trying to make that happen. The only way you'll be able to know if I succeeded is by hitting that subscribe button or going to our podcast and following that on either Apple Podcasts, iHeart, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Wherever
we're
you listen
everywhere.
to podcasts.
Right. So make sure to do that and follow us at World Gone Geek. All right. So
stay
the moment
geeky, baby.
A lot of people have been waiting for is our cosplay kind of overview, highlight reel, if you will.
This is going to be great for our podcast listeners.
Exactly. So podcast listeners, you're probably going to get like a little cut here, and then suddenly I'll be talking about something else because I'm not going to waste your time with this video. You might enjoy the music. Music is pretty cool.
The elevator.
We could describe.
You can imagine. Yeah, we'll do an audio description of it. No, feel free. Make sure you go to YouTube. Like I said, in a few days, the full video will be there. So you can see there if you are one of the cosplayers who we met there and we gave our cards to so that you could watch the video. Hopefully you'll get to see it right here. But if you're not in this one, don't fret. Like I said, the full video will be in a couple days. This is literally my daughter, who is known as Nerves Wax on Instagram. If you want to find amazing makeup work and cosplay, she is one of the greatest makeup artists I have ever seen. And I know she's my daughter and I'm saying this, but I mean, come on.
Oh, she's so good.
She's not my daughter. Though I feel like she is. She's awesome.
Go to Instagram, NURBZ Wax, WAX. Yes, really, really cool. So definitely check her out. But yeah, so she quickly threw this together for me because I was trying to edit all those. We were there all day yesterday.
Right.
And then I had a bunch of stuff that I had to do this morning for church and whatnot. So this afternoon, we're both editing like crazy. And so big thanks to her for doing this.
Smoke coming out of their PCs and computers.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
over.
it was definitely. I had like an airplane landing on my desk here. You could hear it. It sounded
the fans were going.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. Because I was rendering all of these at once. So, but yeah, here's so there's no graphics on this yet. Like I said, we just kind of got it together.
No, let's enjoy the amazing
it, yeah.
cosplayers.
Here we go.
Sky, the Huntington Convention Center. Look at that mashup.
That's the T'Challa Guardians.
Yeah. Oh, nice Warhammer. Oh, that's a good one. Nice. There he is.
Nightmare.
That was just a taste, right, of some of the amazing cosplay that was
so good
going on there. And we obviously couldn't get everybody who cosplayed. That would be impossible. But I think we got a lot of good ones, and we're going to put the rest of them out there. I also got a couple of them gave me cards because they do this, at other things. Including the you saw the woman with the wings.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually they can open and close.
Yeah,
like
we saw it. Yeah,
she can do that. It's phenomenal. It's so crazy to see in person. You're just like, what? And she gave me her card. So I'll make sure in the comments of the full video to include those, not the comments, the description, include how you can find some of those people. And then if you are a cosplayer and you're watching this video and you saw yourself in there, please, in the comments, like tag yourself, yell out who you were and which one. And we'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much for being in our video and letting me, run around you with a camera and all that fun stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a good time. I think overall, Utah, it was different, right? With Wizard World no longer, it's officially taken over by this new company, Fan Expo.
Yep.
They bought several of them.
Definitely felt better about this con because the first one or two Wizard Worlds felt like a con. They had the photo ops, the autographs, and they had the artist alley and vendors. But like the last Wizard World we went to, was not your typical convention. It was very obvious that Wizard World was having problems getting content. Not a lot of vendors were there. They had like 2 or 3 stages. Kato Kalin was hosting on one stage, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And then they had another second stage where there was a ventriloquist and a magician. It felt more like it almost felt more like an indoor carnival versus a comic convention, which is, or a fan expo, so to speak. And so after that Wizard World, I figured, if they do this again, I'm not even going to bother going, because it just wasn't what I was expecting or what I was hoping to see. But this Fan Expo did a good job this year. They brought it back to, I think, what people expect from a Comic-Con. There were definitely a lot more vendors. The fact that they had an artist alley that was well populated by local and also, incoming artists was great. Their celebrity list, guest list was pretty good. I mean, we got Bill Shatner. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith. I mean,
Kevin Smith. We got the Clerks crew. I mean,
yeah, Dante, Randall, we're both there.
So
from Clerks, it was the whole Clerks. Now,
Michael
I don't
Rooker
remember
was
how much was the whole Clerks experience, because that was one where you could get with all 4.
Oh, right, get all of them, right? That's a good question.
5. There was another guy there, but I didn't recognize him.
Right, Trevor, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he played the kid that was the Lord of the Rings fan in Clerks 2.
Well, now I know who he is. Yeah, I just
Yep.
I didn't like Clerks 2 as much. I'm not knocking it. It was great. I mean, it was funny, but the original one is like the one that I really enjoyed. And
yeah, I agree.
I mean, it feels weird to do these sequels, but I'll still go see it. You know what I mean? But
I'll totally go see it.
Yeah, but the original is still always kind of my favorite, and
totally.
I've only seen the second one a couple times, so that's probably why I didn't know who that guy was. So I apologize, Trevor.
One of the best scenes in that movie is Randall explaining Lord of the Rings.
No, that's the scene. Yeah, you're right.
The whole Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings thing is just fantastic. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. So great. But yeah, no, I love what Fan Expo is doing. They have experience in these conventions. They do MegaCon and a couple others from other states. And so I was cautiously optimistic, and I'm glad that it turned out the way it did, because this is the type of thing that I think Cleveland would love to have. And, I think that there's plenty of cosplayers in the area that love to show off their stuff, and doing it at a place like Fan Expo is great. Fairly recently priced in terms of multi-day passes, from what I heard too. I mean, I don't think it was exorbitant. So I hope they keep it up. I hope next year is the same, if not better.
Yeah. And and from this first time that I've gotten to go there on a press pass. I've had booths there in the past for charity, for Extra Life and things like that. So I don't think I've ever paid to get in there. I've always found a way to get in without having to pay. But no, I'm kidding. I mean, we did the Extra Life booth. We had booth access, and that was a charity booth that they actually gave us. So
correct.
We were there for several years with that. And then now, we got in with the media pass, got those great interviews. It just went really smooth. It was really awesome. Big thanks to Jerry Milani, who is the media guy there.
Thank you, Jerry.
I don't know if he's watching if he watches these, but if he does, thank you so much. That was I fanboyed like an idiot in front of Rob Paulson, and just really, really enjoyed my time talking to those people. So it was a great experience. Yeah. And so Aaliyah, this year, so
next year, Aaliyah.
Next year for Fan Expo for sure. There's some more stuff this year that we might be able to get you to. And I'll just say now we're gonna have a booth at Odd Mall in Akron, which I think is in August, I believe. Spoke with Andy. He was at the Fan Expo, and he's like, "Please come. We'll have a booth. We may even broadcast live from there." So we'll have more information on that as it comes. He'll be a guest a week before. He promised that his kid wouldn't get hurt this time, because he was supposed to be a guest, remember? And like literally, right? I texted him 20
he had to go to
minutes
the
before
ER.
the show.
Yeah,
and he is taking his kid to the ER. So he's like, I promise that won't happen again. He's a super cool guy. So he's going to be on the show in August. We're going to go to Odd Mall. I am thinking about going to GalaxyCon in December. I'm toying with the idea of a booth. If not,
that's in Columbus, right?
As press. Yeah, it's down in Columbus. Bill Shatner, Kevin Smith, all those guys will be there, but also a bunch of other Christopher Eccleston's going to be there.
Wait, is that run by Fan Expo too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. They had a booth there.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
In fact, I won this at the booth. If we want to keep our Star Trek theme going.
Oh, look at you with your Year 5 comic
Year
book.
5. Wow.
Yeah, that's Kirk with the Trouble with Tribbles there.
Trouble with the Twibble.
That's a classic photo, right? I mean, that's classic.
You can't get away from that.
I love it. I have no idea what this is. I haven't even opened it yet. I don't know if I want to because maybe it's worse. I don't think it is, but it's probably
it could
reprint. It might be, but it might be a reprint too. I have no idea, but I'm going to read it at some point. I'm not the kind of person who does that. I know there are collectors out there that are just cursing me to the stars right now, but I read comics. I just do. I get them and I read them. I can't help it. I open my Funko Pops. I mean,
that's what the Sheldon rule is for. You get 2 of each. One to play.
Yeah.
One to keep in box.
Oh my God. And
he just dropped it
on the floor. I get nervous around Rob Paulson. I get nervous around Bruce Willis's Funko Pop. Could you imagine if I met him? Anyway, I did get a really cool pop though, and I will share that. So I got.
Oh yeah, share your
Stephen
pop
King,
definitely.
Stephen King and his dog Molly. He tweets his dog Molly, aka the Thing of Evil.
The Thing of
Evil. And
love that.
I love those posts that he does and features Molly. Are just amazing. And you guys, you both know I am a huge fan of Stephen King. So I've never had a Stephen King pop, but I couldn't resist with Molly. Right? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting this. But that was my only major purchase there. Really was that. I bought another pop, but that was it. I didn't really. I didn't other than those pictures that we took.
Right.
I didn't spend a lot this time, so that was pretty good.
And I felt like we had to. I felt like it was kind of.
It's William Shatner. How many more times will we?
Right.
I almost said that like him. How many more times will we
get a chance?
Yeah.
To take a photo.
Right. This is a guy who is just an icon and the stuff we geek out about. And we're not, and this might be his last year doing these kinds of things. You know what I mean? This might be his last tour going through, and then he's gonna hang it up and just kind of hang out and call Priceline and get a nice hotel down in Hawaii and just enjoy himself.
Right.
That's what he does, right?
That's what he does. That's all he needs.
Yeah, he's ready to retire. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna go to space again. Who knows? I mean, Elon still has to go. Elon hasn't taken him yet, so maybe he'll get to go on both.
Oh, he'll get to go to the space station instead of just float in space. See, that to me is real. That to me is like I almost feel like just getting shot up in the phallic symbol, floating a little bit and coming back down doesn't really count. You know what I mean? I know it technically counts.
It counts. It's enough for Captain Kirk, who is 90 years old, right?
Right.
90 some years old.
Right. I feel like you got to go up and at least do an orbit. That makes me feel better about it. Yeah, okay, you've been to space.
I see.
But that's just me. I know technically he's been in space.
Right.
So I'll let him have that.
Yeah. Well,
he's a freaking captain. I can't take that away from him.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we did that. Yeah, because I just don't. I bet this is the last time he does these cons.
I feel like this will be the last year.
I don't know how.
After that,
in your 90s, that you're still doing this stuff. I mean, it's amazing that he's still doing that stuff.
It's great.
Awesome. He loves
really
the fans.
great.
He loves getting out there. But the guy, let's give the guy a rest. He wants to go and retire somewhere at a.
Let him go ride his horses somewhere.
Right. All right. Thanks so much for watching. It's been great. If you're on the podcast, thanks for listening. Make sure to follow us on all the socials at World Gone Geek. We'll be back Wednesday with the Shawarma Shack Moon Knight season finale. Maybe series finale. We don't know.
Let's go.
So make sure you tune in for that. It'll be great. I promise.
How are they going to finish it?
I know, right?
I have no
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.